That's just a bad sensor that got stinky. Said the Kia dealership a few years ago. It's been on and off since. The 500 mark, 92.5K. Okay, 92,501, but still, we saw it. This transmission's still healthy-ish. She does bang into third just a little bit, but that's okay. Just got this car back from Midas, my old work. The check engine light was on. There was a P0303 and P0304 codes at one point, but that was taken care of, and then we got the car back. And then it came back on again. And then it went away and hasn't come back in the past 115.5 miles. So I'll throw it in the manual mode. It's number 4. Auto, it'll go into overdrive. There's a small overdrive, so it's a 4-speed automatic with, I believe it's the solenoid is overdrive. I don't really know. I know this is a Mitsubishi transmission. This is the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. This car hasn't given us much trouble until recently. We've had it since it was new. I believe it was 2009. We got it when it was off the lot, brand new. Had 60 miles to it. So it was test driven a little bit, but no one bought it. And then we got it from Minnesota, and we've had it ever since. So now it's 2022, so it's quite an old car, to be honest. But do the routine 3,000, 3,500 mile oil change with the Wix filter, and it likes it. You can definitely tell a difference when the oil's new because it actually feels a little smoother. I put the full synthetic 520 high mileage Valvoline into there, because that's pretty good stuff. I know Pennzoil, Mobil, stuff like that have good stuff. Quaker State, I believe it is. I have good oil, but I just run with Valvoline. Used to work there. I know their oil, know how they make it. Yeah, so it is at the point where it needs it every 3,500 just to keep it healthy. There has been one time when I had a little bit of metal in the oil, but then I did an oil change 3,200 miles later, and there's none left. There was no more in the next oil change, so I don't know what was going on. I know the check engine light was on at that point, misfiring because of a temperature sending unit sensor, and I believe EVAP sensor. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it running rough, because it was misfiring on 3 of the 4. So, but just getting back from Illinois, hopping into Wisconsin. But, hey, there's a Quicken Rob. Or I like to say it's quick shit. My friend Victor told me that. I never really dropped it. I like that a lot. Quick shit. Not the best food, makes you shit fast, basically. So. One thing to keep your eye out if you're ever driving a Rondo is rainstorms, because these things will die in the water for no reason, and they'll start back up. but there's been a few reports of that. This has happened to this exact car. My dad was driving in a flood. The intake's up top, so it didn't get any water into the intake, throttle body, the top end. It shouldn't have, unless he splashed into it and it got sucked into the intake. I mean, it's literally from the hood, like the center of the hood. You can see the intake going down to the air box. That's one thing to watch out for. Another thing is, power steering pump went out at 88,000, and it was an original power steering, so I put a reman from O'Reilly's in. Hasn't failed yet, so it's gone a decent amount of miles, and with my driving, it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's not like a Ford power steering pump where you put it in and it immediately sounds like a fucking tornado siren going off in your hood, in your engine bay when you're driving, but that's fine. I don't know what else to say. I just literally got so bored I started making a video. The drivability, I would say 1 through 10 to 6 to 7. I mean, it has really responsive steering. It is top heavy. It's a big car. I believe it weighs 3,600 pounds, I believe. I'm not sure. Like I said, these come in two stages. The 2.4 liter 4-cylinder with the 4-speed automatic with the auto manual option. And this is the LX. And then the E and then the LX V6 is the other option. And I would watch out for those. I've seen quite a few of those in the junkyard that are past 09. There was one that actually had a rod sticking out the front. And the funny thing is, when I checked the oil, it was actually full and it looked almost spanking new. So I don't know if those V6s are less reliable. I don't know if they come with the same. They don't come with the same transmission because I believe they come with a 5-speed automatic. I don't know if that's auto manual or not. I've never driven one, so. But what else? Let's see here. Turn the light on. Yeah, no, but this thing's pretty. It's a pretty damn solid car so far. I mean, it says tweaks. When the check engine light came on, it was probably getting around 10 miles to the gallon, not its regular 22-ish average. I smell beef jerky. It smells good. That was an SRT. Oh, nice. Challenger. Another thing is, if you ever are looking at a Kia Rondo, this is, I believe, the last year before they swapped it to from the Rondo to the Soul. So the Kia Soul replaced the Kia Rondo in 2010, and those came with the GDI, the gasoline direct injection. And you don't want those. I mean, gasoline direct injection, I mean, it's... No, like, the valves will clog up because, like, the gas, instead of coming through the valves, it's directly injected to the combustion chamber, and you lose gas mileage so much faster. And so this is the year before they went GDI. This is on a common fuel rail, so this one is not GDI. I'm happy with that. Like, it gets... For the size of the car and how hard I drive it, she gets decent gas mileage. Like, I've gone through a little over... I'd say I'm going through about a quarter of a tank, and I'm at 122 miles. So that ain't bad. I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, it gets hell of a lot better than a V8, I'll tell you that much. Might not be as snappy as a V8 or sound as good, but if you want a decently reliable car, in my opinion, I don't know what other people's experiences are, but I've heard there's catastrophic engine failure and all of that. So I forgot to churn here, but yeah. So I mean, this thing does get up and go when it's healthy. Without it's still misfires. Don't get me wrong. It's still the PO303 and the PO304 check engine or the codes, which is the two misfire codes for the cylinder 3 and 4. So PO300, 301, 302, 303, 304. Is it 301 through 304? No, it's 300 through 304. Yep. So just, you know, I'm not sure what caused that. hasn't had a fuel system treatment yet. I don't know if the injectors are slightly clogged, if the valves are getting a little tweaky, but we'll find out eventually when I get it serviced. I mean, hey, it's a 3-row seat. The last row is good for kids. There's not a lot of room. I mean, this can hold 7 people, which is, that'll get a family around, and it has a lot of cargo room. So, I mean, I remember we went to Montana in this car, went to Canada. I mean, this car did not have a hiccup on either of those. South Dakota. So, I mean, hey, if you're trying to find used, I mean, for me, 92,500 miles, I mean, it runs like a clock. Like, I just keep up your oil changes. Another thing I did have to replace is the thermostat housing, because one of the coolant lines to the throttle body, the nipple on the thermostat housing actually snapped off, and it was shooting coolant out onto the transmission. It was just resting, and I noticed a small little, I noticed a sweet smell. I'm like, that smells like it's getting hot. But it's not getting hot yet. But I got home, looked around, and I saw throttle body, the one going to the throttle body was snapped clean off, so I had to pay $100 or so for that. It's not, you can special order, you have to special order it from Kia, I believe. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I was actually working at Midas at the time, and they were able to cop me a thermostat housing, so I got that slapped in. And this is where I messed up. One of the EVAP, the sensors that plug into each other, wasn't plugged in fully. But I drove like 100, 130, 150 miles before the check engine light came on. I was actually coming back on the same drive as I am right now to see my girlfriend. And it was kind of funny because it was running just fine the whole time. And all of a sudden, it came on and started sucking in gas. And it's starting to do that again. I'm not worried about it yet, unless, you know, I'll go through maybe, I'll go through a quarter tank going to Illinois. I'll get 100 miles on a quarter tank easily. But it wasn't getting that. I think it was I only got 58 miles before it started shooting down from 3/4 to half to a quarter tank. It ate through that. Within the next few days, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? So I bring it to O'Reilly's, and they're like, and I'd use our OBD3, and they're like, and I was like, uh-oh, misfire. I mean, still now, it's misfiring, but the check engine light isn't on. It was on yesterday. It went off this morning. It turned off this morning because I pulled in the quick trip on my house, and it literally, I just put it in the neutral and then shut the car off. I don't know, I was just doing some stupid shit, and then I turned the car back on and it was gone. And it hasn't come back, and this is when I reset the odometer, or the odometer trip A to 00. I'm at 126.6, and it's doing this fine, so, I mean, don't ask me what's going on, ask the car. Piece of shit. Don't go fast. She'll shake on you. I mean, it's top heavy, it's a big car. I mean, hey, excessive speed is bad for it. It's dangerous. But I believe in the second gear, you can get up to 60 something miles an hour. So it goes. If you have an auto manual, you can redline it. I believe it redlines at 6,200. That's when I hit valve float, or it just freaking rev limiter. But this thing does move. I mean, I've gotten to 125, I think. I know my old Isuzu, the V6 in 02, I got into 120 with that, and that was a full speedometer. But don't tell the police. But still, like, really have had no problems. I mean, I had to change the headlights. The dome light in the back doesn't work, in the very back. I've had it brought a few times, and they got it to work, and then it just stops working. So it's been out for like a year and a half. It'll sometimes come on if you play with the switch enough, but it is what it is. I don't really use the back seat ever. I'm always in the front. Oh shit. Oh yeah. One more thing you guys want to know: this can carry an engine in the back. It can carry an engine. So I threw a 350 in the back of this thing. I mean, it squatted pretty hard. I mean, it's like what, 500, 600 pound motor. It's cast iron graphite. So I mean, it's a heavy piece of shit. I mean, it came fully assembled too, without the carburetor and like the accessories like alternator, water pump, any of the pulleys and shit. Got a harmonic balancer, and that's it. It's actually a decent motor. It's pretty good on the inside, besides the rust that built up over the years, but not disappointed at all. I'll start making videos on that, how to disassemble a 350 correct way. I don't know if it's a correct way, but my way, which is probably not the right way, but it's the right way for me, so it's the right way for everybody else. Does that make sense? But, yeah. Alright, I gotta focus now. Hitting Verona, more traffic. But, son of a bitch. Yeah, we're just cruising 78, 80. So, yeah. But hey, if you watch this, you're a fucking G. And if you guys hear this at the very end, comment, I'm fat. We'll say you're fat saying it to me. Anyway, fuck it. See ya.